Okay. Okay, I just want to confirm with you guys that you're okay with me recording this session.
Sure.
Yep.
No problem.
And I'll just show my license. Who I am, Leonard Gunther, and I'm doing the LLN assignment number 3 of 3, the video. Okay.
Excellent.
Cool.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to share a screen, and hopefully this works. Can you see that screen?
Certainly
Yes.
can.
Okay. Now, when I videoed this first time around, I had the faces come up on the screen, but I can't see them on the screen that I've shared. So
Okay.
hopefully it works.
Yeah, you're definitely there. The three of us are there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so we've just got a little bit of housekeeping, as you can see. Just want to make sure that you've got a well-lit ergonomic work area. Assess the area for any risks, such as trip hazards. You're familiar with emergency and exit strategies in your own home, just in case. And, you know, you've got the answer sheets and feedback forms ready to complete.
Excellent.
Okie doke. All right, so we'll go on to the first slide. Where are we? It's acknowledgement of country. I'd like to acknowledge the Darkinjung people as the traditional custodians of this land, which we're meeting today, and we pay respect to the elders past, present and emerging, and recognise their continuing connection and contribution to this land. I'd also like to extend this respect to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people that may be joining us today. So what we're going to do today, it's all about work health and safety. We're going to have 2 lessons. I'm going to cover one lesson and cover 2 topics. We'll have a risk assessment and identifying risks and reporting risks. Then we'll do work safety duties or responsibilities in the workplace and your work WHS responsibilities as a worker. Here we go, sorry. Risk assessment, identifying risk hazards and completing a risk assessment form. As you can see here, we've got a risk assessment form that I've made up. And you can see the headings in each column there. You've got hazard. I'll just put my pointer on, might make it a bit easier. Where's the pointer? Okay,
Yeah, cool.
So we've got our hazard in the first column.
Yep.
We've got risk, the risk that's involved with that hazard. The level of the risk, whether it's low, medium or high. What can be done to control the risk? What can you do to control that risk?
Yep.
And can you control the risk? And if so, do you need, or if not, do you need to notify your supervisor of the risk? So you can see an example here. We've got water on the floor, common risk. You see it everywhere in maybe McDonald's or the supermarket or shopping centre. Risk is that someone could slip.
Yep.
It's a medium risk. So what we're going to do to control the risk is put a warning sign near the water until it's cleaned up. We've seen those little yellow signs that in the supermarkets or wherever, and it says be careful of the water.
I've put them up.
There you go. There you go. So you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And can you control it? Yes, you've controlled it. So there's no need to contact your supervisor. So no. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward there. Name of employee, you're the employee, the date and the job site. As it says up the top up here, circle or tick answers where required. That's
Right. Yeah,
so we've got a clear understanding of what's required in a risk assessment, people.
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
Pretty
Yeah.
straightforward.
Okay, that's very straightforward for you when you can understand what we need to, what information.
No problem.
Okay, we'll move on then.
Thank
Here we
you.
go. Here's a typical work site.
It's a few hazards taking place there.
Wow, a few of them.
There's a few.
McDonald's back room.
Yeah, so you can see there's a few issues here, a few hazards happening. So what I'd like you guys to do is just find 2 hazards and just write in and fill in the risk assessment there, what the hazard is and how you'd go about it addressing the situation and just fill out the information there if you can do that. Just take your time. There's no rush. We've got a bit of time here, I see, so I can see quite a couple. We've got the water on the floor there. We've already discussed that, so we know what we need to do with that already.
Would you like us to write it into the form, or would you like us to discuss it in the group?
Well, we can discuss it, or you can write it in.
I don't mind.
Okay, so I've written a couple in.
Yeah.
Electrical cords on the floor.
On the
to
floor
trip
over
over.
here, where this woman can operating all the. I think it's a woman.
Yeah.
She could trip over that lead while she's on that machine.
That's right.
Which would be very good.
So I've said that it's like a medium risk, and what else? And that tape them to the floor, tape cords
or manage them somehow. Yeah.
The floor. Yeah. And
So,
then control the risk. Yeah. So.
And whether you need to contact your supervisor, maybe you want to tell the supervisor that it's an ongoing risk. It may need attention and a more attention to that hazard or whatever, depending on the situation. How about you, Erling?
I identify the risk with the gentleman with no hard hat right next to the heavy machinery there. Where it specifically says hard hat area right next to him.
Yeah.
And so for that one, I obviously put the risk predominantly as a head injury, I'd say for now, but I mean, any injury could be bad. I'm assuming the risk level for that is actually quite high.
It could be high.
Head injury and whatnot, but
that's where that's the personal assessment comes into it. Whether you think it's a high,
well, I'm curious about that with risk level. It's a bit hard to sometimes know exactly the correct, but I would say there in that work environment, it's probably a high risk.
Yeah, and I think the no smoking. The guy smoking next to the jerry cans, I reckon that's pretty high risk.
That's pretty high risk. You're right.
Yeah,
it's true. That's a pretty great picture.
Yeah.
This is so much to start with there.
Yeah.
In this scenario, just with the guy with the hard hat, I guess I can control the risk by making him wear a helmet if I'm his manager, or to tell him as a co-worker.
Well, but safety is
everybody. Do you
everybody.
need to notify a supervisor or not? You know.
Well, only if he persists in not wearing it, I suppose, because safety is everybody's business. You know, it's everyone's responsibility. So you've got a duty of care to say, hey, mate, you've got to put your hard hat on.
Yeah.
You know? So
that's it.
Okay, very good.
Well, there's plenty more. The guy with the saw back. I like the poster on the poster.
Yeah, that's a good one too, isn't
safety. Yeah, that's good.
And the guy struggling to carry the 44-gallon drum.
Yeah. Over to the guy smoking. I wonder what's in there.
And the box is falling over behind him.
It's great. It's great. It's a WHS nightmare and dream at the same time.
For sure. Okay, so we're all pretty clear on that and how to fill out an assessment form. And
yeah, that's great.
Okay, well, we'll move on.
Thank you.
I've just got to bear with me. I had this trouble once before. I can't get off my. Oh, there we go. I've got it. I had trouble with the laser pointer. I couldn't.
I find that they've used the cursor. I know what you mean.
Yeah. Okay, here's our next half of our lesson tonight. We've got WHS, safe work duties in the workplace, or our responsibilities as employees, and what we need to do. So if we go over to here, I hope you can see all of these.
Yep.
Yeah.
So employee safety duties or responsibilities. I tried to keep it a little bit simple and not use responsibilities. As you can see, A, we've got work safely. That's a responsibility. B, protect yourself and others from injury. C, report risks, hazards, and injuries. D, ask if you're not sure on how to do the job safely. E, follow safe working instructions. And F, wear supplied PPE, personal protection equipment.
Mm.
It's
Excellent.
do I have to repeat any of those for you? You all
No,
understand?
no, they're good.
You're
Yeah,
all
that makes
pretty
sense.
clear?
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
Here I go with my cursor again.
Mhm.
Here we go. I've got it now. So we'll go to the next slide. This is our quiz sheet that I sent you. This is a bit of an updated one, but basically what we've got here is our quiz sheet, and it says which bubble best describes the safety duty in each picture. So when the pictures come up, you've seen the letters A, B, C, D, E, F, E, or whatever. They'll be assigned to a picture, and you just, for picture one, we just want to put in what letter our best describes our picture.
Mhm.
So I'll move on to the first slide. What bubble do you think best describes this scenario in this poster?
Wearing PPE.
That's it, correct. Go to the top of the
Ah.
class.
Ah,
Ah.
that's great.
Okay, so we'll go on to the next one. So we know what that one is. It's where supplied PPE. That's F, isn't it?
1, 2, 3. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
That's correct.
6. Yeah.
So our second, up in the top corner, you can see the slide number, and there are our bubble numbers, letters. So for our second question, what bubble do you think best describes this scenario?
Maybe C, report risks, hazards and injuries. I'm not sure though.
I think that's about right. He's got an excellent report in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
he's drawn a picture of Mr. Burns.
So I don't think.
I mean, it goes for the PPE
Reporting.
one again too. Yeah.
Well, yes, yes, it does.
And just work safely, but not. Yeah.
Well, that's another one too. It works
Right.
safely as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all happy with D in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, sorry, sorry.
C. Yeah.
C.
That's all right.
Sorry, my bad.
I
So
think
we'll
they all apply to that one. It's a few things going on.
There's a few things going on there, isn't there?
But explain exactly what happened, I guess, is for you
Yeah.
to report it. Mm.
So this is our next slide, number 3. Which one do you think best describes this scenario?
Protect yourself and others from injury. B.
That's it. He's got a lockout tag on the fan switch, so we can work on it.
Yeah, protect yourself from others.
So he's protecting himself and
Yeah,
others.
exactly.
There could be another hazard there, or
Yeah.
depending on what it is. But he's protecting himself to start with by locking that out.
Mm.
Very good. Very perceptive you are, you what?
I've been in many of these situations, so I
Well, that's right.
really
That's
can
safety.
it resonates. Yeah.
Yes, safety, it starts everywhere, even at home, in the kitchen, you see a knife on the edge of the bench, you move it because, it could become a hazard,
Yeah.
or
I have to do a safety thing for both Woolworths and Coles, because I enter them all the time for doing stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
they require you to have a induction, which is a working health and safety induction.
I've done many inductions, many inductions.
Many.
Every job site, just about,
Yeah.
over the years. So we'll move on to the next slide. We've got
Excellent.
number 4. What bubble do you think best describes this scenario? This could be a tricky one.
Ask if you're not sure how to do the job properly.
Correct. Very well done.
That's what I was thinking too. Nice one.
Well done.
Mm.
So if you're not sure, ask somebody. Hey, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next slide. Number 5. What do you think best describes this scenario?
E, maybe follow safe working instructions.
Yeah, maybe
Or just
maybe something else there.
Work safety,
Safely.
maybe.
Work safely, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Work
He's got all his
He's
seatbelts
got
on,
enough
so
belts on.
so
It
he's
almost It almost
So-
qualifies for wearing supplied PPE as well.
Almost.
Yeah.
Wearing
Almost.
where's the vehicle?
Wearing the seatbelt.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I'd
work
go along
safely.
with a work safely
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
great.
use the right equipment, as you say, or the PPE as well could be. Protect yourself and others from injury. Follow safe work instructions. They could all be
Yeah.
the right answer there.
Yeah.
Well done. So we'll move on to the next one. And this is our last slide.
That's
What
great.
bubble do you think best describes this scenario?
Well, I guess this is follow safe working instructions then.
That's right.
Yeah.
He's showing the instruction there how to lift safely. Even Homer's not doing it, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's correct. Yes, follow safe work instructions.
That's great.
Well done.
Nice one.
So that's our last slide. And any questions, guys? Anything we need to go over that you might need to be?
No, I thought that was very, very clear.
Very
Yeah.
clear?
Easy to follow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I loved your bubbles, if that's that's what you feel. You got
Yeah.
Homer. I mean, it's great that you're using, sort of a reference to
I
television.
tried to make a little
Totally.
bit of fun as well.
Yeah.
That's great. You succeeded very much. Yeah.
Succeeded. Yeah.
Well,
That's great.
thank you. If you could just fill out your answer sheets and return them to
Yep.
me and your feedback. And,
No worries.
And I'll look forward to receiving those. And thank you very much for your time tonight.
Oh,
You're
no
welcome.
worries at all. Thank you.
No problem at all. I'll just stop sharing this and stop recording.
Mhm.
And